Hi guys, welcome to part 2 of this Get to Know Me Better Q&A. If you're new to my channel, you're probably like, who and what and why? My name is Margaret, I'm from the Netherlands. I normally do paper crafting, junk journaling and vintage treasure hunting. And normally you only see these hands working on something. This is the Q&A, Getting to Know Me Better, part 2. If you missed part 1, guys, go watch that one first. I'm going to link it below in the description box. I think it's better to watch it in that order. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. So welcome to part 2. In this probably hour, I'm going to speak mostly about all stuff creative, my creative sort of journey. So thank you for all the questions. Speaking of thank you, guys, what happened yesterday? I mean, honestly, I did not expect so many lovely comments. All of you watched it. All of you commented on it. The subscribers that usually leave a comment were on there. And then all of you guys were like, I never ever comment, but I need to say hi. So hi to all of you. Thank you so much. I couldn't keep up with it. I tried to answer everything straight away. But you know, I'm a human. I have to sleep. So at midnight, my husband Tim was like, put the phone away. So I have not commented during the nighttime. I'm a little bit behind, but I'll get there. So let's get started with the next questions. A lot of questions about what and who inspires you. Now, as for what inspires me, I could make up a story and tell you I go outside in nature and then I get inspired. I don't get me wrong. I love nature. I'm not an outdoorsy girl. I'm more like an indoorsy girl. I am in awe of nature and the creation. I really like it. And I use a lot of like mushrooms and flowers and butterflies and bugs and such. I really like it. But I don't get inspired by nature. I get inspired by you guys. I go on YouTube, Instagram, Pinterest, see all the stuff that you are creating, and take a little bit out of everything and try to make it my own. And sometimes while doing it, come up with other stuff. So I'm mostly sort of inspired by you guys. And now, as for who, I already mentioned a list of YouTubers that I follow, and I finished the video and I was like, oh, I forgot to mention Carol Laws, I forgot to mention G. Kerr, I forgot to mention so many of them, because there are so many of them. But there is one person in particular that really inspires me, and I want to tell you a little bit about her. Now, as for the person that inspired me most, and this is gonna come as a surprise to her, it's my mother. My mom doesn't watch my videos. She'll probably watch this one because I'm gonna send her the link. I am not a mama's girl at all. I'm a daddy's girl, and she will admit to it. I love her dearly, but we do bump head a lot of the times because we are similar but very different. Very different. It's like the Rotterdam and the Amsterdam in both of us. Now, my mom, she's an artist herself. She does a little bit of everything. She's a painter, sculptor. She does things with mosaics, with glass and mirrors. At the moment, she's really into making dream catchers with seashells and beads and what have you. But she is really expressive with bold colors. She makes paintings with her fingers and with fabrics. She sews. I cannot sew for the life of me and such. So I think I really do get a little bit of creativeness from her. But as for inspiration, that came from other stuff that she did while we were growing up. To give you a little bit of background, my parents were very young when I was born. My dad just turned 18 and my mom was a month shy of being 19. So they were basically kids having a baby. Now, it was sort of usual for that era, so nothing unusual there. But, you know, they didn't have a lot of money. Actually, they had nothing. But they made sure I had everything I needed and everything I wanted. My brother was born 6 years later, and we grew up in a wonderful household. My mom had the ability, and that's her creativity, and that's what inspires me today. My mom had the ability to create a fantastic fantasy world out of nothing. My brother and I never had the feeling that we were poor. We actually were. We're not like poor. We had the basics. We had a roof over our head, shoes on our feet, and dinner on the table, and what have you. But there were times, and she made it into a game. She was like, tonight we are not gonna turn on the lights. We're gonna have candles everywhere. It's going to be fun. In other words, we don't have electricity tonight. So that's the kind of things that she did. For instance, we couldn't afford some luxury goods, like the expensive beverage, the lemonades. So she bought very inexpensive lemonades, but then she poured them into fantastic sort of glasses that she decorated with stickers or put an umbrella in or whatever. And she made it up to be like the most fantastic drink ever. So it was a fantasy world. I think it's because she was very, very young that she could connect with children better. She still has that ability. In fact, she is still a teenager at heart. Absolutely. So she really could connect to children, and she was very creative with us. We didn't have the money to go to ballet or horseback riding or art class or to the circus, to the movies. She made the circus at our home. What she did, she took out all the pillows from the couches. At the 70s, she had these sort of modular couches. I don't know if you can remember. She put them all in sort of a circle, was in the middle, and then we played circus, my brother and I. We were doing head rolls and like jumping around, and it was the circus. We didn't need to go to the circus. She made popcorn, turned off all the lights, and then put the television on, and we were at the movies. And as for the creativeness, she used ordinary stuff to craft with. We made macaroni necklaces, and not in a way she was like, I put some macaroni here and you can make a necklace. She told us, hey guys, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna make a necklace for macaroni. Do you want to join? She joined in on everything, so that made it more interesting. I can remember a very vivid memory, and I know she remembers this. When we were young, well, I was young, she bought clay, and it's not like the Play-Doh, it's actually called DAS, D-A-S. It's the clay, the gray one that you can sculpt something with, then you can bake it in the oven, and afterwards you can paint it with some sort of paint and then bake it again, probably, I don't even know, and with varnish on it. And I can remember that vividly, and we did a lot of it. And later on, she made sort of a bread dough with lots of salt in it and did the same. So yeah, she's very creative, not only with craft supplies, but with life. With life. We had all sorts of luxury in our imagination without having the real luxury. Unfortunately, we had to sometimes buy at Salvation Army. For instance, a winter coat. Then she bought me a coat. It was nice and warm. It was not special at all. She took off the buttons and then put on different buttons, really nice ones, shiny ones or pink ones or what have you. So my mom is creative in life. She still is. We are very different. I'm very organized. Everything is color coordinated and such. And at her house, it is still a circus. Everything is in all sorts of colors and what have you. So even though we're very different, she inspires me. She inspires me to she invented junk journaling because she takes trash and turns it into treasure. So yeah, for inspiration, Mom, that is all you. It is genetic. I know it's genetics, but you still inspire me even today. So I love you. So I think I've been creative on and off throughout all my life. I did... when I was a little bit older, cross-stitch embroidery, I really loved that. It was like a very nice thing to do. And the occasional card making. Of course, for Christmas, I made my wedding cards. And the birthdays and such. I did a little bit of scrapbooking. Well, I bought a lot of stuff to do scrapbooking and did not do any actual scrapbooking, I must say. But I did a little bit of paper crafting. And I think for 20 years ago, I also did a couple of years a course of mandala drawings. Is it mandala or mandala? You know, the Tibetan like circle drawings, they make them with sand. Well, I make them with paper and pencils with crayons and such. So I did have a lot of craft supplies always around. Now that I mention it, from the mandala drawings, I have this big paper pad somewhere with watercolor paper. I found a treasure in my head. Yeah, so always sort of creative. Now, when did I start junk journaling? I actually started bullet journaling. And that was in the beginning of 2018. We just got married. Well, 6 months before. And I was thinking, you know, New Year's resolutions. I want to live a little bit more of a structured, healthier life. So I looked into bullet journaling on YouTube with trackers, keeping track of how many glasses of water a day do you drink and how many steps do you take and how many hours of sleep. And you know what it's like. I was very attractive to the sort of artistic element to it, like making collages and decorating the pages of your sort of planner journal thingy. And one of the first videos I watched was probably, and I don't know if for sure if this was her, was the Woot live, WOOT live. I think she did a lot of sort of bullet journaling. What she did was a lot of AliExpress hauls with the washi stickers and the washi tapes and make beautiful stuff with it. And I was intrigued. So I went all out. I bought every sort of bullet journaling washi tape sticker there was. My husband even bought me like a real bullet journal, the expensive one. What's the brand called? Leuchtturm. It wasn't expensive, pink one. I still have it. So I did bullet journaling for maybe a little bit longer than a month, and then I got really bored with it. And but I had all these supplies, so I was like, I do like part of it, but I do not like keeping track of the 2 glasses of water that I drink a day, or the 5 hours of sleep that I get, because I was no good at it. So, you know, you go on YouTube and you go down the rabbit hole. And then I think the very first video that I found of actual junk journaling, not even junk journal making, but working in a junk journal, was Barbara from 49 Dragonflies. So I owe a lot to her. At that time, Barbara was doing a Junk Journal with Me series. I don't think she had her channel on for that long. I think it was in the beginning of her channel. She wasn't as big as she is now. And the style that she's doing now is really different from what she did then. It was much simpler, happy colors and some vintage stuff. I absolutely loved it. I watched her every time she had a video out. She made some lovely pockets, some collages, some cards to journal on, and she actually journaled on them what she was doing that day or a friend she met or whatever. At the moment, she's doing more mixed media and stuff that I'm not ready to do yet. She surpassed me by that. So I loved her. I absolutely loved her. I watched everything she did, and she made me start doing sort of junk journaling. I made my first junk journal out of let's say a cereal box. It's absolute rubbish, but that's okay. Just start doing it, guys, if you like. I never made a journal. Who cares? Just make one. Try it. You need to try it. So I did that, and I really sort of wanted to thank Barbara. I did sometimes leave a comment on YouTube, not that often, I think. But I did make some stuff that she taught me how to do. And I just wanted to show it to her. I had an Instagram account at that time, almost never used it. I used it at that time to post pictures of the Sims interior rooms that I did. I did some interior decorating. I really loved it. So I mainly used it for that. And I thought, I'm gonna make something dedicated to Barbara. I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna tag her, see what happens. So I made a small project. I don't even know where it is or what it is anymore. It was really, really simple. but I had the word Vienna on it. We did visit Vienna a couple of months prior to it, during Christmas of 2017. So I visited Vienna. It's beautiful. I made it and I tagged Barbara, and she responded to me immediately. So I was so sort of surprised and happy and all like joy. Yeah, so she sort of encouraged me to do more and such. I was in contact with Barbara a couple of times after it. We exchanged some emails with a question or just a hi and a hello, and she did encourage me at one point, why not start your own YouTube channel? And that was maybe 2 or 3 years ago even. So yeah, a very big influence she was on me to start junk journaling, and I followed her. And after that, I followed all the other ladies. Now, the thing that I posted first on my Instagram that was sort of paper crafting junk journal related, there's a funny story to this I'm going to tell you. I don't know how long ago it is, but Barbara did a video on making a journal, collecting memories from her YouTube channel or from her Instagram, with lovely emails she received or some happy mail items or Instagram posts or what have you. So she made a video, she made the journal, and then she printed some stuff out that was on her Instagram or her email or what have you. Guess what she printed out? The item that I made the very first time that had Vienna on it, she printed it out to put in her journal. So I saw it and I had to like ring up all my junk journal friends. Look, that's me. That's my post. So she doesn't even know. She doesn't even know that she printed out the small little project that had Vienna on it. It sort of made her happy, and it is a memory she kept. So that's a funny story about that project. So thank you, Barbara. I don't know if you watch, but you are a big influence on me and you're a wonderful person. She also sort of encouraged me, she doesn't know it, to do this video. A couple of years ago, she did a video, a get to know me video, where she shared a lot of her life, who she is and such. And there were so many things that we had in common. The same as you guys have been telling me from yesterday's video. I'm also Trekkie. I love 80s music. I do board games. Whatever. And Barbara was also married before. She had a previous marriage. Also couldn't have children. So her story was, we had lots of stuff the same. So she really resonated with me. So I love Barbara a lot. So that's when I started junk journaling. I do have a lot of questions about the supplies that I use, and I have a whole video on it, guys. I'm gonna link that one below as well. I made a video the last day of December, last day of last year, doing my favorite craft supplies of 2022, and everything is in there. All my craft, all the things that I really love. What sort of glue do you like? Scissors, papers, whatever, everything is in there. Now, about my style, a lot of questions about what is your style? I don't know. Well, you know, I have a stamp. Let's say I have a stamp. I put my own stamp on it, but on all sorts of styles. I love Tim Holtzy grungy stuff. I really adore it. But I also love Michelle from the Junk Journal Studio, happy colors and children and butterflies and cherubs. I love all sorts of stuff. However, I do have some favorites. I think everything Victorian, Edwardian really resonates with me. I just love it. I absolutely love it. I love the fashion from that era, all the fonts, all the advertisement pieces, really nice. But I also love like the 50s, 60s, so more vintage / retro, like the cookbooks from that time, and all the housewifey stuff. Yeah, all the stuff that housewives did, like the simple life. I really like that era as well, the fashion. I'm really into beautiful vintage or antique papers with lovely old handwriting on them. I like receipts and bills and notes and letters, all like authentic, real vintage ones. I have been collecting a lot of it, and you've probably seen some in my thrift hauls and such. I do have enough to make journals with them, but I still sort of hoard them. But I need to start using them. So I like everything that's odd and old. A lot of questions. Do you have more projects in mind that you haven't done yet? Yes, I have a gazillion. I keep collecting stuff. For instance, I have been collecting to make a journal, like a cookbook journal, a retro vintage cookbook journal. So I've been collecting old cookbooks, old recipes, pictures from cookbooks and such. I want to make something like this. Also really want to make a fashion/sewing journal, but then in two eras, one in the Victorian Edwardian time and then one in more like the vintagey style. Love it. Also have some unusual stuff on the brain. I have been collecting books, antique books or vintage book about medical books and anatomy and such. It's weird. It's like with skeletons and x-rays, and I know it's weird, but it's, to me it's beautiful. So I want to do something sort of creepy like this. So yeah, I have lots of projects on my mind. The problem is with these projects, and I want to make journals, but making a journal for me takes a lot of time. Takes a lot of time because I'm into details and I want to do all sorts and stuff. And then I get distracted easily. I'm working on a journal about, I don't know, Edwardian skirts and corsets and fashion. And then all of a sudden I'm like, mushrooms. I need mushrooms. And mushrooms don't go with Victorian fashion. So to do this on YouTube as a video is going to be hard, because I'm all over the place all of the time, and that is just my creative journey. One day I'm into this and the other I am into that. And having such a brain sort of limits me sometimes, especially when doing prompts. I don't like doing prompts. I did in July, I did Meg's Junk Journal July. It was a big challenge for me. I did do it completely. I did almost every prompt. There were some prompts in there that I was like, don't even know what this word means. Does not emote any feeling to me or whatever. So I did skip a couple of them. But I found out at that moment, it sort of limits me in my creativity. I am not telling my brain what to think and what to do and what to make. My brain is telling me. So I don't think I'll ever do prompts again. I want to have the freedom. You can tell me do something in sort of this style, but a prompt doesn't really work for me. So no, I want to have more freedom. That's also going to be a problem because I got some sort of request. People ask me, can you please make me a journal with such and such? I would like to buy a journal. Can you make me one in this theme and with this paper and what have you? I probably can, but I will not enjoy the process. I'd rather let my creativity go, make something, and then see if someone likes it. So I'm not going to do custom orders. Let's say I'm not going to do custom orders. The other thing I don't do, that I got a couple of questions about, I don't use words or sentiments on projects. I sometimes do. I sometimes use a word like flower or spring or what have you, but I don't use words of encouragement. And that's sort of a personal thing, but I think I want to explain, and maybe my story will even help one of you out there. It was a couple of years before I met Tim, and even the first 2 years that we were friends, that I was in a very dark place. I was depressed. We sometimes go through life it's not always sunshine and roses and rainbows. So I was going to a valley, absolutely. And at that time I did not junk journal, but I did write a lot. I kept a diary. I even kept a video diary, and I did read books with quotes from strong women and such. I really needed to build myself up and get out of it. So I used a lot of it, and it helped me. It really helped me. I loved writing down my fears, my feelings, my hopes, my dreams, my anger, my whatever. I just needed to get it out there. And so I used a lot of it to help me and strengthen me, and it got me through. But nowadays, my life is completely different. I don't need it anymore. I don't need to write down my feelings and my fears, and I don't need the encouragement at this moment. I may do so, hopefully not. I have a completely different perspective on life. I will handle problems in a completely different way. You evolve, you get older and you evolve. So every time I try to write something, journal something, it does sort of take me back to, write something down, go deep. What is bothering you? What is going wrong? What do you want to change? And then I have to go deep, 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 and it brings me back to that dark place. And I don't want to go there ever again. So really journaling in that way doesn't work for me anymore. Words like she did and so she could, and those sorts of like encouragement words, which are lovely and there's nothing wrong with them, they just rub me the wrong way at this moment. They remind me of the time that I needed the words, that I lived by the words and such, and they did their job. So that's why I don't journal in that way anymore, or I don't use those sort of phrases, sentiments or words at this moment. Hopefully never. Let's just hope and pray everything stays this way. Now, I sometimes do journal, but in a completely different way. Sometimes I want to write down a sort of feeling or an emotion or a situation or something that happened to keep as a reminder. And most of the times I use song lyrics. I live by song lyrics. I love them. I love music. Tim loves music for music and the notes and the instruments. And I love music for the lyrics and the song, the story they tell. And sometimes the story can be very, very deep. And other times it's what I enjoy is I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Why not? That could be a nice lyric. Yeah, it's a happy lyric. But most of the time it's something deeper. So yes, I journal sometimes, but it is mostly sort of cryptic. Put down a date, put down a piece of a song lyric, and years later it will remind me of what was going on at the moment. So that is a sort of my style of journaling at this moment. Can you see who's there? That's Jackson. Jackson! Hi! I'm sorry, I just caught him over there. That's Jackson, that's one of my cats. What was I saying? Yes, thrifting. I am a vintage treasure hunter for sure. Got a lot of questions about it. Most asked question is from my Dutch subscribers. Where do you go? Well, yeah, I'm not gonna like it, ladies, but you have to understand, I am not gonna tell you where my favorite thrift shops are, because all of you is gonna go there, and by the time I'm there, everything is gone. So I'm sorry. However, I will tell you a little bit about thrifting, the thrifting that I do. I understand by all the comments that the thrift shops in the Netherlands are way cheaper and way better than anywhere else in the world. That might be true, but I think I also have some tips and tricks that you can use when you go to a thrift shop, because I found out the thing that I did in the very beginning when I started sort of junk journaling and needed sort of vintagey supplies what I looked for in a thrift shop compared to what I do now. I go about it a completely different way. So I have some tips and tricks. Take out your pen and pencil, write it down. It might work, you never know. For all my Dutchies out there, I have an app, the Kringloop app. Put it on your telephone. I think there are even two. I have one. Put it on your telephone. When you go visit your auntie in all the other way of the Netherlands, and you drive there, just put on the app and see what's around. You will find more thrift shops that way. So there's an app in the Netherlands for it to find more thrift shops. Now I have found that there are some like chains of thrift shops in America. You have the Goodwill. It's a chain of stores, and you probably have that all around the world. In the Netherlands, you have a couple of them. Most of them I don't really like because they carry mostly the modern stuff that I don't like. If by chance you happen to have in the Netherlands, Woord en Daad, those are Christian-based charity shops. Yeah, I really like those. They are spread all around the country a bit, so look out for those. I really like them. And some of the Rataplan, I also like. Not all of them, but some I also really like. These are sort of chains of thrift shops. Now there are a couple of them I don't like Het Goed. I never found anything nice there. And a couple of other ones that are just more modern. They have like more modern stuff, and I cannot find anything there. So that's for my Dutchies. Now, if you go through to a thrift shop, sometimes you can read a review on the internet beforehand. Before I go there, I mostly do it because I do not want to have a 2-hour drive to go somewhere and then find out it's rubbish. But don't read a couple of the reviews, because sometimes it says, well, it is very sort of messy in there and it's smelly in there and everything is expensive. Look at more reviews. Because to me, it's very messy and very smelly. Those are the places I want to go to. Go to those places. And then look on the floors and above. If there's a box somewhere, go through the box. I am really treasure hunting. I am like digging through rubbish to find stuff that is unusual and beautiful and that we can use. So the mistakes that I made in the beginning was I was just focused on one thing. What I want to find a book with butterflies. So I went to a thrift shop, straight to the book section, then straight to the nature section, and then to the bugs and the insects, and was looking for a book with butterflies. And sometimes you could find it and sometimes you didn't. But you're skipping all sorts of parts that you can find lovely treasures in. So I am going to try to give you some examples. You probably all seen it in some of my thrift hauls, but in case you haven't, I'm going to give you some examples of unusual sort of objects, products or whatever that you could use for junk journaling. Let me show you. I think my favorite section in a thrift shop is the one with the office supplies, or with the tools and such. Yeah, not the books or all the lovely stuff. I find lovely treasures there. I once found this little box at the office supplies. I had no clue what it was. They had two and they were 50 cents and they were sort of taped down, so I couldn't open it. But it was 50 cents and I thought it might be interesting. I don't know. So I came home and opened it up, and there were actually, this is paper. These are sort of circles that truck drivers use. They do have a name, which for me is unpronounceable. I don't even know. I knew the name at one time, but you know, whatever. It's for truck drivers. It's sort of a time punch card. But it's on. Look at all the numbers. It's really, really unusual, and it's already a circle. It's double-sided. It keeps track of how many hours that you drive and how long you drive and such. So I had 2 boxes full of this. I sold 1 box in packages, but this is an example of look for the unusual. Same with this one. Small little box in it wasn't even 95 cents. I think I paid like 10 cents for it. I find these small little boxes all the time. I have this one. Sometimes there are push pins in it, or staples, or paper clips. This is actually a bookmark called bent over, and I call them cat ears because it looks like a cat. Yeah, it looks like a cat. And you fold this over a corner of your page, so it is actually a bookmark. But you can also sort of use this if you have an embossing folder with a number, then punch a number in it, or use a number stamp and then embossing powder to put something on it. Have it clipped over a piece of like string or burlap or what have you, and you have an instant sort of Tim Holtz ideology sort of item. It's fantastic. Found a box with hole reinforcers. Yes, these are sort of plasticky, but that's okay. Use archival ink or whatever and just random stamp on it, and they make for lovely hole reinforcers. So really love this. This again came from the office supplies. It's rub-on letters. Love them. I just absolutely love them. I find these all the time. Sometimes in a section with old cameras and such. What you gonna do with a camera for junk journaling? Well, these, and this is the smallest box that I have these old vintage sort of slides. You can make specimen slides with these, or you can do all sorts. Have it as a frame. So I pick these up all the time. I have a gazillion. I don't need any more. Now, you've all seen these books. These are the vintage postage stamps albums. I find a lot of them. I never find these in the section with books, loves. No, they're not there. They're at the office supplies section. I even find them sometimes at the toys, with the toys. Don't know. Speaking of toys, found this lovely sort of boxy thing at the toy section, and I keep some bits and bobs in here. So I find lots of cute boxes in the toy section. Now for books themselves, do not judge a book by its cover. I'm just gonna show you this. If you see this in like a bookcase, it doesn't have any text on it or what have you. You can see that it is older. I always take these out, no matter what's inside. I don't know what's inside here. Even if it has something then on the cover. This had nothing on the cover. It was just in there. Open it up. Open it up. And this one had, and it was an absolute treasure, it had this in it. Yeah? Which is fantastic. So sort of rows of numbers. It's beautiful. I did get another book. Did I get the other book? Yeah, this one. Again, this is in the book section. It is not with the butterflies or the flowers or all the stories, whatever. This is in a section with books with instruments and science and the boring books. Yeah, the boring books. It did say, I'm going to sort of translate. Cannot even translate. This is for people who do build roads and such, for your Dutchies, landmeten en waterpassen. It's like instruments for measuring roads and whatever. It's an old one. It has all of these in here. These are interesting, guys. Interesting backgrounds. Ooh, it even can, oh, I've just found out. Treasure. Found a treasure. Fell out of the book. This with like whatever. And then, yeah. Treasures. It does have numbers in here also somewhere. These sort of books, and then with the writing, there's some writing on here. Just if it's an old cover, just take it out. just take it out. It costs you like for a second or whatever. So do not go straight to the nature books. I check it out, of course, but sometimes you find treasures somewhere else. And if you're in like sort of the haberdashery section, I always go there, pick up old buttons, embroidery floss, laces, ribbons, woolies, whatever. I always go through the section with the fabrics, but don't stop at the fabrics. Go to the section where they have linens, old bed linens. I pick them up all the time. Tablecloths, napkins, old bed linens, old curtains. Go watch there. I even sometimes look through the garments, the clothing section, because sometimes I see a lovely skirt that I won't fit or has a stain on it or a hole, but it's made with fabric with lovely flowers on it. And if the price is right, I buy them. What I also look for nowadays is this fabric. It's called lining. It's lining fabrics. You do find it, or I find it regularly, and most of this was 40 cents. It's a big piece. I don't use this for making journal covers. However, I use it. Let me show you. Hopefully it won't fall apart completely. Hello, lovies. There you go. I make faux sari silk ribbons with them. Yes, I will do a video. It's rather simple, guys. You just rip strips out of them, get them wet, crunch them all up in a knot, let them dry. Ta-da! It will fray a lot, but you know, that's the beauty of it. So yeah, I pick those up all the time. So open up your mind when you go thrift shopping. I always look at sort of the hardware section for a jar with rusty sort of whatevers. You might find a lovely key in them. I love keys. I don't have enough. I'm really still looking for keys. Or have a roll of vintage wallpaper. I found at one point a roll of vintage wallpaper from the 70s, completely wrapped in its plastic, and I found out by I did buy it for €1 or something. I found out later on the internet by the serial number or something like it. The roll is worth about €70 because it's sort of a designer collector or whatever. I'm not gonna touch the roll, it's gonna stay in there. But look at the wallpaper rolls and such. So be creative when you go thrifting, yes, and pay what you think it is worth to you. Do not overpay. Do not overpay. What is it worth to you? Sometimes an item is, for me, worth 50 cents, and you'd be willing to pay like $2 or $3 for it. Pay what it is worth to you. If it's not worth to you, don't do it. And if you cannot not afford it, don't do it. Try to find beauty in extraordinary, weird things. I will have a playlist that's called Junk Journal on a Budget. I do a lot of those, so keep that in mind. I will make a playlist with me making stuff from, let's say, an encyclopedia, packaging material. You can find junk journal items, supplies in almost everything. I have a round of quick, shorter questions that I can answer with a shorter answer. Well, I hope so. You know me, I'm long-winded in everything. A couple of questions about, are you going to take us on your vintage treasure hunt thrift vlog or something? I'd love to do this because I watch those all the time. But there are a couple of things that I need to take into consideration. One, I need a better device to film. And most of them are doing the GoPro sort of chest thing that you could put a camera in. Those are expensive. I have no clue how they work. So I need something to hold my telephone/camera with. But that's manageable. I mean, a selfie stick will do, basically, I think. So I'm going to try. Also, I think you need to ask permission in advance to film somewhere. And that might be sort of tricky because some thrift shop owners are grumpy or they don't know if it's allowed, or so I'm going to ask. And also, if there's music playing out loud in the shop, Sometimes then I cannot use the footage on YouTube because I will get something that's called demonetized, which means I'm playing copyright music, and so it's not allowed. So I love to do thrift vlogs. But probably it's going to be in summer when the weather is better and such, and gonna go to flea markets because I think I'm allowed to film on flea markets. So that's the question. And then the question, where's your Etsy shop? I don't have an Etsy shop, guys. You can look all you want on Etsy. I am not on there. I mentioned in my previous video, I am working on a web shop, but this will take a long time because I want to be sure that I'm doing the right thing. In the meantime, I am still on coffee, on my coffee shop. Lately, I have been having some problems, not a lot, 2 or 3 ladies have been having problems on coffee. All of them were Dutchies and all of them were trying to pay with Ideal. It's a completely new paying method on there. It does work, but it does require, you need to be careful what you do because you have to do a little more steps than you're used to. Also, it doesn't work like Etsy. Ko-fi does not send you the files to your email address. They don't. You need to pay for them and then go through the whole thing, and then you can download them in the bigger resolution. So yes, I will be staying on coffee at least for my digitals, for physical items. I will keep you posted, guys. Watch me every day. I'll probably do another sale or what have you. Then a question about collabs. Are you going to do collabs? I will occasionally. I am going to do one with Rachel and Bella this month. Already did one with them last Christmas. I'm not a really Christmassy crafty girl, but it turned out really, really nice. So I am doing one with Rachel and Bella. And you know, if you have a collab going on, you can always email me, guys. If you have like a big channel, a large small channel, if I'm interested in it, I'm there. So if you have any questions, email me. Do not put it in the comments because it will take a couple of days. Just email me if you have a collab. Also, I was approached to a couple of you ladies out there who also do digitals and were asking me, can you please do something with my digitals? Yes and no. There are a lot of you out there, so I cannot do everything. And I must be honest, if it is a digital that I think it's in my style, I'll work with it. If it's not within my style, I can find it very beautiful, but I cannot make anything with it. If you have digitals, an Etsy shop or whatever you want, wherever you sell, and you want to sort of me show it or just show it or whatever, send it to me. Gail does that all the time. I'm all for supporting each other. So if you have digitals, want me to show it, or even items in an Etsy shop or an Instagram shop or whatever you want me to share it with other people, you can, contact me on my email. That's always an option. A couple of questions about making journals. Are you going to make real journals? I really want to. Here's the problem, guys. I cannot make a journal in one video. Last year I have made, I think, 3 or 4 projects that were series that I did a couple of episodes on, and some of you guys like them, but most of you don't really like it. So I'm making videos that attract like a quarter of the normal views. So I'm really sad about it, but because I love to make journals and show you and such, but it also, I want to make videos that all of you guys like and not like 25%. So I'm gonna try it again. I'm gonna try series of making something. So hold on, I'm gonna do it. Well, craft room tour. Did you notice Jackson turned on the light? I always rewatch pieces that I record. I have a light switch on my desk, and he stepped on it, so the lights went on over there. It's not a ghost, it's Jackson. Yes, this is our conservatory or serre or sunroom or whatever. These are panels, fabric panels on the roofs to keep out the sunlight. Now they keep out the cold a little bit. Some of it is open, but then it's on the front. the room looks huge just because of the camera angle. It is big, it is quite big, but it's not as big as as it seems now. And it's also our office, so it's Tim's office, my office, and then it used to be only over there, but now it's like the whole conservatory. It is in meters, I believe 8 by almost 3, so it is quite large. Yes, I'm going to do a craft room tour, but it's going to take a little while because I want better lighting, a little bit better lighting. So I'm hoping in early spring, maybe before it, but also want to do some reorganizing. Maybe I'll make videos. Do you want to see me reorganize stuff, go through drawers and such? I personally love it. So let me know if you like such a video. So craft room tour for sure. What else did I put down? Mixed media. Are you going to do mixed media? Well, apparently I already am doing mixed media, sort of. But I understand where you're getting at, with more paint and such. The other weekend I invested in a jelly plate. I have no clue what to do with it. I'm going to watch a couple of videos on it, see how it works, and if I don't know, guys. I'm trying. I will get my hands dirty at one point. Question on, are you going to have a Patreon? Now, I sort of knew what Patreon, I thought I had an idea of what Patreon was. I sort of looked it up. I don't really know. I am going to say no, because I feel that YouTube, my tutorials, my videos should be available to everybody, and not to people that can pay for it. I love the idea of people wanting to support me. I'm very grateful for this, but I do not want to have the videos exclusively for people who pay me. If that's your thing, if YouTube does that, that's completely your prerogative. I will not, probably not ever. If you want to support my channel, you can make a donation on my Ko-fi website. You can buy my digitals, whatever you want. I'm not going to do Patreon. So I'm not going to do Patreon. Yeah, so no exclusive videos. And another question about videos. Are you ever going to do a live? I would love to. However, my lives are going to be long. It's not going to be a half an hour live or an hour. It's probably going to be at least an hour and a half or 2 hours. Here's the problem that I have. I have lots of lovely friends, because honestly, guys, you are my friends in the States, in New Zealand, in the UK, in Australia, in Austria, in everywhere. And we're all at different time zones. And to me, a live is live. Yeah? I sometimes watch lives after the fact, mostly from Tim Holtz or what have you, because I cannot stay up all night. If I'm going to do a live, I want the interaction with you guys. So I want to be sure there are people there. And I know I'm probably going to have 20 people there, but I want to have lots of people there. We cannot all be there, but let's all be there. So I'm going to figure out a time where most of you can join in. It's probably going to be very late for me, late in the evening. And I need Tim to help me out at that point, because I am not, well, I'm a little bit technical. I'm not like really, I know a couple of things, but Tim knows a lot more. So yes, I want to do lives. And then people keep telling me, yeah, do 2 lives. I'm a human, guys. I need, rest and sleep and such. So yes to the lives. Don't know when. Gonna figure it out. Gonna ask you guys to participate. You need to come live and in the chat and do lots of stuff. Yeah. So promise live, but I don't know when. Now I mentioned I am a human and I need sleep, and I am going to close with this one because lots of questions about my health situation. As you can tell, I'm doing fine. One of my subscribers, which has become a very good friend, is very concerned, and she told me, I saw yesterday, Margaret, when you're doing your video, near the end you were getting very, very tired. Please, love, take care of yourself. Now this is maybe too personal. I am sorry, but a lot of questions about my health. I got COVID in November. I got it bad. Not as bad. It could be a lot worse, right? But I got really, really sick, and I couldn't shake it. I had lots of problem breathing and coughing for a long time. Also, my taste completely went, and smell, and that was horrible. It did come back. It has not come back completely. Sometimes it comes and goes. It just comes and goes. It could be a lot worse, because I've heard horror stories about people being in wheelchairs and having spasms, and none of this. The only thing that is really bothering me is the fatigue. I get tired very, very quickly. I'm pumped up on adrenaline right now. I really enjoy making this video because of the interaction. I just love it. So I'm really pumped up right now. Maybe you can see by my face I'm getting a little bit tired. Sometimes I'm a little bit out of breath, and I had to stop the video and then start recording again to maybe cough or get a drink of water or whatever. So I'm doing a lot better. It's just the fatigue. So for now, guys, I will have the sort of schedule that I am on. And I think it's not a bad schedule. I take the day off on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. So it's basically 4 videos a week compared to the 5 videos that I was making. I think it will be the schedule for the coming months. So hope you're not angry about it or whatever. It gives you 3 days to watch other YouTubers. Guys, come on. It'll be fine. So thank you so much for all the well wishes and the prayers and the comments and telling me take care of yourself and such. I am. Tim is taking very good care of me. I am taking very good care of me. It's just time. It takes a little bit of time, and I think come spring, when the sun comes out, it'll be fine. So that's it. I have no clue how long this is. Probably over an hour. That's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, guys. It's already getting dark outside. It's been a long day for me. I absolutely enjoyed doing this. I was very, very nervous yesterday. Today I'm a lot less nervous, and that's all because of the lovely comments you left yesterday on my video. It gives me a lot of sort of confidence and motivation, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So thank you for being here. I am going to try and upload this on Thursday. Hopefully you'll watch this on Thursday or wherever you are. If not, it's going to be on Saturday if I don't have enough time, but hopefully it is. I'll be back either on Friday, which is tomorrow, doing the collab with Rachel and Bella. It's tips, tricks, and hacks, I believe. I call it cheats, but yeah, it's probably something the same. I'm gonna do a lovely project. I think you're gonna like it. And if not, if this is actually sort of on Saturday, because I didn't finish in time, I'm going to have a lovely thrift haul tomorrow on Sunday. So I'm going to see you tomorrow either way. And tomorrow's going to be either Friday or Sunday. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, guys. And I'll see you soon in the next one. Bye.